Lieutenant Noah Ellis stood at the viewing portal of the Galactic Confederation vessel, Harmonious Accord. Stars stretched before him like scattered diamonds on black velvet. 30 years had passed since Earth joined the Confederation, and Noah still felt the weight of being one of the few humans allowed to serve on diplomatic missions. "Lieutenant Ellis, Ambassador Winters requests your presence in the briefing room," said a smooth voice behind him. Noah turned to see Kelnar, the blue-skinned Venlaxian communication officer. "Thank you, Kelnar. I'll head there now." The corridors of the Harmonious Accord buzzed with activity as representatives from 17 different species prepared for the upcoming negotiations. Noah walked briskly, nodding politely to those he passed. Many returned his greeting, but he noticed how some stepped slightly aside, giving him extra space. He was used to it by now. Ambassador Carol Winters was waiting in the briefing room, her silver hair pulled back in a neat bun. At 62, she remained one of Earth's most respected diplomats. "Noah, good. We're approaching the Pradari system. The Zorian delegation is already waiting for us." She pushed a data tablet toward him. "Review these reports. The situation is more tense than we expected." Noah scanned the information. The Zorians, with their advanced technology and logical approach to everything, claimed rights to mine the asteroid belt in the Pradari system. The Pradari, a younger species with rich resources but less technological development, insisted the asteroids fell within their territorial boundaries. "Standard observation protocol, Ambassador?" Noah asked. Carol nodded firmly. "Absolutely. We advise only when asked. No direct intervention. The Confederation rules are clear, especially for us." She tapped her own identification badge, where the small red symbol that marked all human personnel files was visible, the mark that indicated Protocol 7B. "I've always wondered," Noah said carefully, "why Earth agreed to these restrictions when we joined. No other species has warning labels attached to their personnel." Carol's expression softened slightly. "That's a conversation for another time, Lieutenant. For now, remember your training. We're peacekeepers, nothing more." The ship's captain, Zorith, entered the room. The tall Venlaxian's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of respect in his culture. "Ambassador Winters, Lieutenant Ellis, we will dock at the Pradari station in 2 hours. The Zorian chief negotiator has requested a preliminary meeting." "Thank you, Captain," Carol replied. "We'll be ready." After Zorith left, Noah helped Carol prepare the necessary diplomatic documents. As they worked, communications specialist Daniel Wright entered with fresh data. "Ambassador, we're picking up unusual transmissions from the outer system," Daniel said, his face concerned. "Military encrypted channels." Carol frowned. "The Zorians assured us this was a peaceful negotiation." Noah studied the data. "These don't match Zorian or Pradari patterns. There's a third party operating here." The ship's alarm suddenly blared to life. The overhead lights shifted to emergency red. "All personnel to security stations," announced a calm computer voice. "Unknown vessels approaching at combat speed." Noah, Carol, and Daniel rushed to the bridge. Through the main view screen, they saw 5 sleek black ships cutting through space toward them. Their design was unfamiliar, aggressive with forward-mounted weapons already glowing with energy. "Krell ships," Captain Zorith said grimly. The Imperium was not invited to these negotiations. "The Krell?" Noah asked, unfamiliar with the name. Intelligence Officer Patricia Miller stepped forward. "An expansionist species from the Outer Rim. They've conquered 3 systems in the past decade." "Open a channel," Ambassador Winters ordered. "This is Ambassador Carol Winters of Earth representing the Galactic Confederation. Your presence here is unauthorized. Please state your intentions." The screen flickered, revealing a reptilian face with yellow eyes and scaled gray skin. "I am Commander Vex of the Krell Imperium," the figure hissed. "The Confederation has no authority here. This system will soon be under Krell protection. The Confederation recognizes both Zorian and Pradari claims," Carol said firmly. "We advise you to withdraw." The Krell commander's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "Advice noted, human. Especially from a species the galaxy keeps on such a short leash." The transmission cut. Captain Zorith turned to Carol. Ambassador, your species warnings are well known. Perhaps now is the time. Carol shook her head. Not yet. We try diplomacy first. Always first. Noah watched the approaching ships and felt a strange mix of dread and readiness. Whatever these Krell wanted, they had no idea what they were about to unleash. The bridge of the Harmonious Accord erupted into action as the 5 Krell ships broke formation and surrounded them. Shields at maximum. Captain Zorith ordered. Send distress signals to both Zorian and Pradari stations. Noah watched the tactical display with growing concern. They're positioning to cut off our escape vectors. Patricia Miller worked rapidly at her console, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. The Krell have never directly challenged the Confederation before. This is a major escalation. A sudden blast rocked the ship, throwing Noah against the wall. Warning lights flashed across every console. Direct hit to our communication array, Daniel Wright reported. Distress signal cut off mid-transmission. We're being jammed on all frequencies. Ambassador Winters turned to Zorith. Captain, we need to reach the Pradari station. They must be warned. Agreed, Zorith said. Navigation. Plot course to. Another. Blast hit the ship, more powerful than the first. Part of the ceiling collapsed, crushing a console. Noah pulled a stunned crew member to safety as emergency systems kicked in, sealing off the damaged section. Weapons? Zorith asked. Diplomatic vessels have limited defensive capabilities, Captain, the weapons officer replied. Not enough to fight off 5 military ships. Noah helped Patricia access the ship's intelligence database. We need to understand what we're dealing with. Why would the Krell risk attacking a Confederation vessel? Patricia pulled up fragmented reports. The Krell have been expanding aggressively, but they're careful about which targets they choose. They prefer isolated worlds with valuable resources and limited defenses. Like the Pradari, Noah said, understanding dawning. And if they can disrupt negotiations between the Pradari and Zorians, they could take advantage of the conflict, Patricia finished. Classic divide and conquer. Another explosion shook the ship, more violent than before. The lights flickered and emergency systems wailed. Noah felt the ship listing to one side as artificial gravity wavered. Engine room reports critical damage, Daniel called out. We're losing power to all systems. Captain Zorith, bleeding from a head wound, staggered to the communication station. We must get word to the Confederation. The Krell must not be allowed to. The ship rocked again. A support beam crashed down, striking the captain. Noah and Carol rushed to his side. The Venlaxian's 4 eyes blinked erratically as blue blood pooled beneath him. Captain. Noah pressed his hand against the wound, but he knew it was too severe. Zorith grasped Noah's arm with surprising strength. Lieutenant Ellis, he whispered, his voice fading. Protocol 7B is authorized. May the stars help them if they truly anger your kind. His grip loosened and all 4 eyes closed simultaneously. Noah stood slowly, his uniform stained with the captain's blue blood. The bridge was in chaos, smoke filling the air as crew members fought to control the damage. What's Protocol 7B? Patricia asked, helping a wounded crew member into a chair. Before Noah could answer, the tactical display lit up with new warnings. They're launching boarding parties, Daniel reported. 3 shuttles approaching our docking bay. Seal all bulkheads, Noah ordered, taking command. Security teams to the docking bay. We need to defend this ship. Ambassador Winters watched him with a strange expression. Noah, Protocol 7B is not just a regulation, it's a warning. A promise Earth made to the galaxy. What kind of promise? Patricia asked. Carol's face hardened. That we would never again unleash what makes humans different unless there was no other choice. She looked at the tactical display showing the approaching Krell borders. I think that time has come. Noah nodded grimly. Security station, arm all personnel. Even diplomatic staff. Daniel, is there any way to get a message to Earth through the jamming? Daniel thought for a moment. The emergency beacon in Shuttle Bay 3 has its own power source and transmitter. If someone could reach it. I'll go, Noah said. Ambassador, coordinate the defense here. Patricia, Daniel with me. We need to access the secure files on Protocol 7B and send that beacon. As they raced through the damaged corridors, explosions echoed through the ship. Noah felt something stirring inside him, something ancient and primal that all the years of diplomatic training hadn't erased. The Krell had made a grave mistake. They were about to learn why Earth warned the galaxy about humans. Noah, Patricia, and Daniel hurried through the damaged corridors of the Harmonious Accord. Emergency lights cast red shadows on the walls, and the smell of burnt circuitry filled the air. This way, Noah said, leading them down a maintenance passage. We can avoid the main corridors where the Krell will likely enter. They passed wounded crew members being helped to medical bays. A young Zorian technician with a broken arm nodded gratefully as they passed. The secure files room is just ahead, Patricia said, checking her hand scanner. But it requires ambassador-level clearance. Ambassador Winters gave me her access codes, Noah replied. She knew we might get separated. They reached a reinforced door marked with Confederation symbols. Noah placed his hand on the scanner and entered a complex series of numbers. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, screens lined the walls of the small room. Daniel immediately went to the communication console. I can try to bypass the jamming signal from here, he said. It will be weak, but Earth might pick it up. Noah nodded. Do it, Patricia. Help me access the Protocol 7B files. Together they worked at the main console. The ship shuddered again as another explosion rocked a distant section. We don't have much time, Patricia warned. The screen finally displayed a file marked Earth Protocol 7B Restricted Access. Noah entered the final code and the file opened. Patricia gasped as images and text filled the screen. Is this real? Noah read quickly, his face growing more serious with each line. It's real. All of it. The file contained detailed records of Earth's history, not the sanitized version taught in Confederation schools, but the raw truth. Images of wars, battles, and conflicts that had shaped human development. Detailed analyses of human psychology under threat. For a species as young as yours, your capacity for violence is unprecedented, Patricia whispered, reading over his shoulder. Not just for violence, Noah corrected. For adaptation. For survival. Look at these notes from the first contact assessment. The report highlighted what made humans different. While other species evolved with natural limitations on aggression or technological development, humans had developed with few biological constraints. Their history was marked by constant innovation, driven by competition and conflict. Most importantly, the file revealed why Earth had voluntarily accepted restrictions when joining the Confederation. It was not imposed on them, it was self-imposed. We knew what we were capable of, Noah said softly. Earth's leaders chose to place limits on human involvement in galactic affairs because they understood how easily we could disrupt the balance. Daniel looked up from his work. The beacon is ready, but there's something else you should see. I've intercepted Krell communications. They're not just attacking us, they've launched simultaneous strikes on both Pradari and Zorian outposts. They planned this, Patricia realized. They wanted to eliminate the diplomatic mission and trigger a conflict between the Pradari and Zorians. Noah continued reading the Protocol 7B files. According to this, there are human response forces that have been kept secret from the Confederation. Ships and personnel specifically trained for situations like this. You mean Earth has a hidden military? Patricia asked, shocked. Not hidden, Noah corrected. Reserved. To be used only in extreme circumstances, when the normal rules of diplomacy and peacekeeping have failed. The ship rocked again, harder this time. The lights flickered. Ship's computer reports Krell boarders have reached Deck 5, Daniel announced. They're moving toward the bridge. Noah made his decision. Send the emergency signal, Daniel. Full Protocol 7B activation code. He turned to Patricia. We need to get to the armory. There's a medical bay on the way. We should pick up Samantha Green. We'll need a medic. What exactly are we going to do? Patricia asked. Noah's expression hardened in a way Patricia had never seen before. We're going to show the Krell why the Confederation puts warning labels on humans. Daniel, download everything you can about Krell ship designs and tactical patterns. We're going to need it. As they left the secure room, Patricia noticed how Noah's posture had changed. The careful diplomat was gone. In his place stood something older, something that had been waiting beneath the surface of human civilization for 30 years. The hunted were about to become the hunters. The medical bay was in chaos when Noah, Patricia, and Daniel arrived. Injured crew members from a dozen species filled the beds while medical staff rushed between them. "Samantha," Noah called out, spotting the human medic working on a wounded Pradari diplomat. Samantha Green looked up, her blonde hair pulled back in a tight bun, medical scanner in hand. "Lieutenant Ellis, what's happening? We keep getting more wounded." "Krell attack, we need to move." Noah quickly explained the situation while Samantha finished treating her patient. "I can't leave these people," she protested. "We're not abandoning them," Noah assured her. "But we need your help to save everyone on this ship." Reluctantly, Samantha grabbed a medical kit. "Lead the way." The 4 humans made their way to the ship's armory, avoiding the main corridors where sounds of fighting could be heard. When they arrived, Noah entered his security code. "Standard Confederation peacekeeping equipment," Patricia said, looking at the limited weapons inside. Noah moved to a hidden panel at the back, entering another code. A section of wall slid away, revealing a separate compartment with different weapons. "Earth contingency supplies," he explained, distributing the equipment. "Hidden on all diplomatic vessels after Protocol 7B was established." The weapons were unlike the sleek, non-lethal Confederation standard issue. These were more rugged, designed for combat rather than peacekeeping. "I've never used anything like this," Daniel said, holding a compact rifle nervously. "Basic training includes combat scenarios," Noah reminded him. "Remember your exercises?" Samantha checked the medical supplies, adding them to her kit. "What's our plan?" Noah activated a ship schematic on his wrist device. "The Krell have taken the lower decks and are moving up. Ambassador Winters is coordinating the defense of the bridge, but they can't hold forever. We need to retake the engine room," Patricia suggested. "If we can get power back to the main systems, we might stand a chance." Noah nodded. "First, we need to secure the emergency shuttle bay. Daniel, is the beacon transmitting?" "Yes, but I don't know if it got through the jamming." "Earth will receive it," Noah said confidently. "But we need to survive until help arrives." They moved through the ship carefully, encountering small groups of Krell soldiers. The reptilian warriors were tall and heavily armored, but Noah's team used their knowledge of the ship's layout to set traps and launch surprise attacks. After securing the emergency shuttle bay, they headed toward the engine room. Through viewports, they could see Krell ships attacking the nearby Pradari station. "Those are civilian habitats," Samantha said, horrified as explosions bloomed against the station's hull. Noah's expression darkened. "They're not just invading, they're making examples." In a maintenance tunnel near the engine room, they encountered a group of trapped Zorian engineers. The tall, thin aliens were attempting to repair critical systems. "The Krell have placed guards at all entrances to the engine room," one engineer explained. "We cannot get past them." "We'll handle the guards," Noah said. "Be ready to move in and restore power." Patricia studied the ship schematics. "There's a service duct that leads directly to the engine room. It's narrow, but we could use it to surprise them." As they prepared their approach, Noah's communication device activated. Ambassador Winters' voice came through, strained and interrupted by static. "Noah, bridge compromised. Krell commander, demanding surrender, threatening to destroy Pradari station if..." The transmission cut off. Patricia tried to restore it but failed. "We're running out of time," Noah said. "Daniel, stay with the Zorians and help them prepare. Samantha, be ready to treat casualties. Patricia, you're with me." As they crawled through the narrow service duct, Patricia whispered, "Will Earth forces really come?" "They'll come," Noah said firmly. "Protocol 7B isn't just about warning the galaxy about humans. It's about what happens when those warnings are ignored." They reached the end of the duct. Through the grate, they could see 8 Krell guards controlling the engine room. Noah checked his weapon. "Remember your history," he told Patricia. Humans have faced worse odds than this and prevailed. With a nod to Patricia, Noah kicked the grate open and they launched their attack. The battle for the engine room was quick but fierce. Noah and Patricia moved with a coordination that surprised the Krell guards. While Patricia provided covering fire, Noah flanked the enemy position. Within minutes, they had secured the room, with minimal damage to the critical systems. Engine room secure, Noah reported through his communicator. Daniel, bring the engineers. The Zorian engineers rushed in, immediately starting work on the damaged systems. Daniel helped them while keeping watch at the entrance. Power should be restored to critical systems in 20 minutes, the lead engineer reported. Noah nodded. Good. Patricia, let's check the ship's status. They accessed a working console. The display showed multiple Krell ships surrounding the Harmonious Accord and the Pradari station. Warning indicators flashed across the damaged sections of their ship. The bridge is still under Krell control, Patricia said, pointing to the security feed. Ambassador Winters and several crew members were being held at gunpoint by Krell soldiers. A larger Krell, likely the commander, paced in front of them. We need to retake the bridge, Noah said. But first, we need to ensure the Krell can't destroy this ship if things go badly for them. For the next hour, Noah's team worked their way through the ship, securing key systems and freeing trapped crew members. Samantha treated the wounded while Noah, Patricia, and Daniel established control points. They used the ship's layout to their advantage, setting traps and creating choke points that neutralized the Krell's superior numbers. Noah was checking a security feed when Patricia called him over. Look, she said, pointing to the long-range scanner. Something's coming. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. The scanner showed 6 vessels approaching rapidly. Unlike the elegant designs of Confederation ships or the aggressive shapes of Krell vessels, these were blocky and utilitarian, bristling with weapon systems. Earth ships, Noah said, a smile spreading across his face. The human defense fleet. Patricia looked at him in surprise. I thought Earth didn't have a military fleet. Not officially, Noah explained. Protocol 7B included provisions for a response force kept separate from Confederation records. Ships and crews trained specifically for combat, rather than peacekeeping. The largest ship transmitted a message that cut through the Krell jamming signal. Noah activated the speaker so everyone could hear. This is Admiral Kevin Johnson, of the Earth vessel Decisive Action, to all ships in the Pradari system. Krell forces, you are ordered to stand down immediately and withdraw. You have attacked a Confederation diplomatic vessel and civilian targets. This aggression will not stand. The Krell commander's voice responded, filled with contempt. The primitive human species thinks it can challenge the Krell Imperium? Your reputation is exaggerated. Stand aside or be destroyed with the others. Admiral, Johnson's reply was calm but firm. You were warned. Earth Protocol 7B is now in full effect. The Earth ships accelerated toward the Krell vessels. On the scanner, Noah could see they were positioning themselves between the Krell and the damaged. Pradari Station. What are they doing? Daniel asked. They're outnumbered. Watch, Noah said. The Earth ships launched their attack. Unlike the precise energy-based weapons of most Confederation species, the human vessels fired a mix of kinetic projectiles and guided missiles that overwhelmed the Krell shields. The Decisive Action directly engaged the largest Krell ship, its weapons targeting propulsion and weapon systems with surgical precision. 2 Krell ships broke formation, attempting to circle behind the Earth vessels. Without hesitation, the smaller human ships intercepted them, taking damage but refusing to yield their protective position in front of the Pradari station. They're fighting like nothing I've ever seen, Patricia whispered. No species fights like this. Noah checked his weapon. Now we take back our ship. The bridge crew needs us. As they moved toward the bridge, they could feel the Harmonious Accord shake as weapons fire struck the hull. Through the viewports, they saw the space battle unfolding. Human ships fighting with a ferocity and determination that defied conventional tactics. Now the galaxy will understand, Noah said quietly. This is what Protocol 7B was warning them about. Noah, Patricia, Daniel, and Samantha crawled through the maintenance tunnels toward the bridge. The sounds of battle echoed through the ship. both from the space fight outside and the struggle to regain control of the harmonious accord. Bridge. Access is through this panel, Noah whispered, pointing to a section of wall ahead. Security feeds show 8 Krell guards plus their commander. They're holding Ambassador Winters and the bridge crew hostage. How do we get past that many? Daniel asked nervously. Noah pulled a small device from his pack. We use this. It's an Earth military flashbang grenade. It will temporarily blind and disorient them. Patricia studied the bridge layout on her scanner. We'll need perfect timing. Once we breach, I'll go left, Noah right. I'll stay behind to treat the injured, Samantha added, readying her medical kit. Noah nodded. Daniel, your job is to get to the communication console and establish contact with the decisive action. They got into position. Noah looked at each of them, seeing the determination in their eyes despite their fear. Ready? 3, 2, 1, now! Noah kicked open the panel and tossed the grenade onto the bridge. It flashed with blinding light and a deafening boom. They rushed in, weapons ready. The Krell soldiers stumbled in confusion. Noah and Patricia moved quickly, taking down 3 guards before they could react. Daniel slipped along the wall toward the communication station while Samantha pulled an injured crew member to safety. The Krell commander recovered faster than his soldiers. He grabbed Ambassador Winters, holding a blade to her throat. Stop or she dies, he snarled. Noah froze, his weapon aimed at the commander's head. Let her go. Your ships are being defeated. It's over. The reptilian face twisted in anger. Impossible. The Krell Imperium does not know defeat. Look outside, Noah said calmly. Through the main view screen they could see the battle. 3 Krell ships were already disabled, drifting helplessly. The decisive action was engaging the Krell command ship with relentless precision. Earth vessels moved in complex patterns that seemed chaotic, but worked perfectly together, covering each other's weaknesses. The Krell commander's yellow eyes widened. How? Your ships are outnumbered. Numbers aren't everything, Noah replied. Humans have always understood that. While the commander was distracted, Ambassador Winters made her move. She jabbed her elbow hard into the Krell's midsection, breaking free of his grip. Noah fired in the same instant, striking the commander in the shoulder. Patricia and Daniel quickly subdued the remaining guards. Within minutes, they had secured the bridge. Communications restored, Daniel announced from his console. Admiral Johnson is requesting to speak with the ship's commander. Ambassador Winters, despite a cut on her forehead, straightened her uniform and stepped forward. Put him through. Admiral Johnson's face appeared on screen. The older man had a weathered face with a short gray beard. Behind him, the bridge of the decisive action was a model of efficient action. Ambassador Winters, good to see you alive. Lieutenant Ellis, well done securing the ship. Thank you, Admiral, Noah replied. Status of the Krell forces. 4 ships, disabled. 1 destroyed after they attempted to ram the Pradari station. Their command ship is still fighting, but it won't last long. The Admiral's expression grew serious. We've intercepted communications indicating more Krell ships are on the way. We need to evacuate the Pradari civilians immediately. The station's shields are failing, Patricia reported from a sensor station. They have over 3,000 civilians aboard, Admiral Johnson nodded. We're sending landing teams to help with evacuation. Lieutenant Ellis, can your team assist? Noah looked at his companions. Despite their exhaustion, they all nodded in agreement. We'll take a shuttle and help with evacuation efforts, Noah confirmed. As they prepared to leave, a Zorian science officer approached Noah. I do not understand. Your species was restricted from military action for decades, yet you fight with such coordination, such determination. It's as if you were made for this. Noah checked his weapon before answering. We weren't made for war, we just learned from it. That's what Protocol 7B was really about. Not holding us back, but holding us in reserve for when we were truly needed. The Zorian watched as the 4 humans headed for the shuttle bay, moving with renewed purpose despite their injuries and fatigue. Now I understand the warning. the Zorian whispered to himself. The shuttle bay was damaged but functional when Noah's team arrived. They quickly boarded a small transport vessel designed for diplomatic missions, not combat operations. "I'll pilot," Noah said, sliding into the control seat. "Daniel, handle communications. Patricia, weapons systems. Samantha, prepare the cargo area for wounded." The ship hummed to life, its systems responding to Noah's commands. As the bay doors opened, they got their first direct view of the battle. Space around them was filled with weapons fire, disabled ships, and debris. "This is Shuttle Delta 7 from the Harmonious Accord," Daniel transmitted, requesting approach vector to Pradari Station for evacuation assistance. "Delta 7, this is decisive action," came the reply. "Follow Escort Fighter Blue 3. Be advised, Krell forces are targeting evacuation vessels. Proceed with caution." A small, nimble Earth fighter appeared alongside them, its pilot giving a quick salute through the viewport. "Follow me," the pilot's voice crackled through the comm. "I'll clear a path." The fighter led them toward the Pradari station, which was showing significant damage. Parts of the outer ring had been breached, and escape pods were launching from multiple bays. "The station's main reactor is unstable," Patricia reported, scanning the data. "They have less than 2 hours before critical failure." Their escort fighter suddenly rolled to intercept an incoming Krell attack ship. The Earth pilot engaged without hesitation, drawing the enemy away from the evacuation route. Noah piloted the shuttle through the chaos, dodging debris and weapons fire. When they reached the station, they docked at an emergency airlock. Inside, the scene was one of controlled panic. Pradari civilians were moving toward escape pods while station security maintained order. An Earth Marine team had already arrived and was directing the evacuation. "Lieutenant Ellis?" A tall, broad-shouldered man in Earth combat armor approached them. "Captain Jason Bell, Marine Special Operations. Glad to have more help." "What's the situation?" Noah asked. "We've evacuated about 40% of the civilians. The Krell hit the life support systems deliberately. We're focusing on the residential sectors now." Captain Bell pointed to a station map. "We could use your team in Section C. There are families trapped by structural damage." Noah and his team moved quickly through the station's corridors. Emergency lights flashed as air pressure warnings sounded in multiple sections. In Section C, they found collapsed corridors blocking access to a residential area. Scanner readings showed at least 30 Pradari trapped beyond the debris. "We can't move this in time," Patricia said, examining the collapsed beams. Noah studied the station schematics on his wrist device. "There's a maintenance tunnel that runs parallel to this section. It might give us access." The maintenance tunnel was narrow and dark. They crawled through it, guided by Daniel's scanner. When they reached the residential section, they found frightened Pradari families huddled together. "We're here to help evacuate," Noah called out in the Pradari language. "Please prepare to move quickly." As they began guiding the civilians back through the tunnel, the station shuddered violently. Patricia's scanner beeped urgently. "Krell ships are targeting this section specifically," she reported. "They must have detected our rescue operation." Another explosion rocked the station. Part of the ceiling collapsed, blocking the tunnel behind them. "Our exit is cut off," Daniel said, trying to keep the fear from his voice. Noah contacted Captain Bell. "We need an alternate extraction point for 30 civilians plus our team." "There's an emergency dock on Level 4, Section D7, Bell replied. "But you'll have to cross through areas exposed to vacuum. And, Lieutenant, sensors show 3 Krell boarding parties heading toward your position. Looks like they want to make an example of the rescue operation." Noah looked at the frightened Pradari families, then at his team. Patricia checked her weapon. Daniel studied the station map, and Samantha prepared emergency breathing masks for the civilians. "We'll make it," Noah said firmly. "Tell Admiral Johnson we need covering fire on the station's eastern quadrant in 10 minutes. As they prepared to move, a Pradari child looked up at Noah with large, frightened eyes. "Are we going to die?" she asked simply. Noah knelt down to her level. "Not today. Humans are very good at impossible situations. It's why the galaxy both fears and needs us." He stood and addressed the group. "Everyone stay close. We're getting you all home." The determination In his voice left no room for doubt even as another explosion shook the dying station. 3 weeks after the Battle of Pradari Station, Noah Ellis sat in a quiet hospital room on Earth's orbital medical station. His left arm was still healing in a regeneration cast, and the burn scars on his face were slowly fading thanks to advanced medical treatment. Across from him, Samantha Green sat in a wheelchair, her legs still recovering from injuries sustained during their escape from the station. They both looked up as Patricia Miller entered the room, walking with a slight limp but otherwise recovered. "Daniel will be here soon," Patricia said, taking a seat next to them. The doctors finally cleared him to leave his room. Noah nodded, relieved. Daniel had suffered the worst injuries among them when he used his body to shield a Pradari child from falling debris. "Have you heard the news?" Patricia asked. "The Confederation Council has called an emergency session. They're discussing the Krell invasion and Earth's response." "And Protocol 7B?" Noah asked quietly. "Yes. Ambassador Winters is presenting the full protocol to the Council today." Patricia paused. "They're broadcasting it across all Confederation worlds." The door opened, and Daniel entered, supported by a medical droid. Despite his injuries, he was smiling. "Look what I found," he said, gesturing behind him. Captain Jason Bell entered, followed by Admiral Johnson. Both men wore formal Earth military uniforms with new medals pinned to their chests. "Lieutenant," Admiral Johnson greeted Noah. "Good to see you recovering. All of you." "Admiral," Noah tried to stand, but Johnson waved him back down. "Save your strength. You've earned your rest." Johnson looked at each of them with respect. "I wanted to personally thank you before the ceremony. What you did on that station, evacuating all those civilians while fighting off Krell boarding parties, it's already becoming legend across the Confederation." Bell nodded in agreement. "My Marines still talk about how you rigged the emergency systems to create a safe corridor through the vacuum sections. Brilliant thinking under pressure." Noah shook his head. "We just did what needed to be done. And that," Johnson said, "is exactly what humans do best. It's why Protocol 7B exists." The room's main screen activated automatically, showing the Confederation Council chamber. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the massive hall. At the center, Ambassador Winters stood at the speaking platform. "Turn it up," Noah requested. "For 30 years, Earth has voluntarily limited its role in galactic affairs," Winters was saying. "We did this not from weakness, but from wisdom. Today, I present to you the full text of Protocol 7B, written by Earth's leaders when we joined the Confederation." The screen displayed the protocol's opening statement. "We come in peace, but we know what we are capable of. We have seen our darkest hours and what we become in them. We choose cooperation and diplomacy not from weakness, but because we have witnessed our strength. Our history is written in the stars we reached for, and the blood we spilled to reach them. For your safety and ours, do not force us to remember who we can become when pushed to our limits." A respectful silence filled the council chamber. Then one by one representatives stood in the tradition of universal respect. The screen changed to show images from the battle, Earth ships protecting the Pradari station, human Marines evacuating civilians, and footage of Noah's team leading the trapped families to safety. "The Krell Imperium has withdrawn from Confederation space," Winters continued. "Their leaders have issued a formal apology and reparations offer. They learned what we hoped they would never need to learn, that Earth's warnings were not exaggerations." The hospital room, Admiral Johnson turned to the 4 humans. "The Confederation is establishing a memorial at Pradari Station. It will bear a simple inscription: 'On this unforgettable day, the galaxy realized why Earth warns them about humans. May we never need such heroes again.'" Noah looked at his friends, Patricia, Daniel, and Samantha. They had gone from diplomatic staff to warriors and back again. They were living examples of what humanity truly was. Not just fighters, not just peacekeepers, but people who could be either when necessary. "What happens now?" Samantha asked quietly. Admiral Johnson smiled. "Now we go back to building peace, But the galaxy will remember what happened when peace was threatened. And sometimes remembering is all that's needed to prevent the next conflict. Outside the window, Earth shone blue and beautiful against the blackness of space, home to a species. The galaxy now understood a little better, for better and for worse.